Peace and blessings. My name is Carlos Walker, and this is Art and Hustle, Black Authors Matter. And today with Mr. Cyrus Webb. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Thank you so much for the invite, Carlos.
Man, appreciate you for joining me. So, if you will, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Definitely. Well, again, I appreciate you having me on your platform. My name is Cyrus Webb, as you mentioned. I've been a radio personality now for 22 years, based out of Mississippi. I've been hosting the Conversations Live radio show. We're celebrating 22 years this year. And also my magazine. I'm the editor in chief of Conversations Magazine. We're celebrating 19 years
Good.
this year. I have written currently 15 books, and I have written for myself, just by myself, 5 books. My latest one is the one you see here, Word That Choose to Live By, which is Book of Affirmations. But I'm also a motivational speaker as well.
Congrats, congrats.
Thank you.
So, if you will, I don't know what order you would love to go in because
Mhm.
might as well talk about all the five that you've written.
Yes.
Um, Share about. Matter of fact, we'll start with the latest one, and we'll go
Okay.
backwards. Normally, I
Sure.
don't do that, but we'll do it since you got that one standing right there.
Okay. So yeah, Words I Choose to Live By, Carlos. This is actually the third edition of it. The book initially came out in 2014. It was my very first book deal. So I want to shout out Bonita and Hodge Publishing out of Memphis, Tennessee, for seeing me post about my affirmations. So basically, Words I Choose to Live By is, one thing I've always believed, and you very briefly were talking about this, Carlos, is that there's so much negativity in the world, and I've always been a big person who's been about basically speaking life to myself. So
Yes.
I would come up with affirmations for myself, then I just start sharing them on social media. And the acquisition editor for Benita and Hyde saw them on Facebook, and she was like, "Don't post anymore. We want to offer you a book deal." So, Word That Choose to Live By is basically it's daily affirmations. You have one for the week for 52 weeks, then you have one for every day, and that way it's kind of something, no matter what's happening in the world, some way for you to speak life to yourself. So it's done very well. Was able to get some celebrity endorsements on it, as well as it's kind of going throughout its journey for the past 10 years. But the third edition is the 10th anniversary edition that came out last year. I have one business book out. It's Financial Literacy Month. So Minding Your Business is the book I released last year for Financial Literacy Month. It basically is a way of helping individuals realize how they can treat their business like a business and themselves as the brand that they are. So I give tips and tools that I've been able to use with my business to be able to share that with other people. Ironically, Carlos, is also it's National Poetry Month, so I released a new book of poetry as well last year called My Journey in Haiku, where I basically share some of the poetry that I've been able to write just about life experiences and life lessons. And it also has some full length poetry in the back of this one as well. My fourth book is one I'm very proud of. We're actually getting ready to release the second edition of it, and it's this one. It's called Power Your Life with the Positive. It's a book of celebrity interviews I've done. I was able to interview individuals like LeVar Burton of Reading Rainbow. I interviewed Billy Ray Cyrus for this book. So we had just, a wealth of celebrities that said yes to sharing their stories and their journey, but also what inspired them to pursue their goals and dreams, and what advice they have for others. And then the last one that I wrote myself is a children's book that I also illustrated, called AJ and the Talent Show. It also encourages the importance of reading and embracing who you are as an individual.
You say you also illustrated,
Yes, I illustrate as well. Yeah.
so you do quite a few things.
Yeah.
You got.
Yeah.
When I said talents,
Yeah.
you might be one of the few that I've heard speak of this many talents: radio personality, writer, artist. That's quite a few talents to be dealing with all at one time, and you learn how to use them all in a period of technically 20 some years, but probably before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to ask you, before we go any further, the inspiration behind your writing.
Yeah. So one thing about me, Carlson, I'm very transparent about my journey. I'm a three-time suicide attempt survivor,
Thank
and
you, thank you for still being here.
yeah, so I grew up in an interesting situation. I'm from Mississippi. I actually still live in Mississippi, and I was one of those people, short kid, always wore glasses, always felt invisible, you know, and even though I had encouraging parents and, people who told me what I could be, I just had problems believing it myself, because I didn't
Mm.
see people like myself doing the things I wanted to do. Ever since I was a child, I wanted to do two things: write and draw. And I was told that you won't be able to do either one of them and make it as a living while you're alive. you know, that's what I was told. So I was like, this is what I want to do, but they're telling me it's not. But I never gave up on that. And so for me, I wrote my feelings. I wrote the things I was, the things I aspired to do, what I wanted to be able to be. And I've always been curious in people, even in middle school. My classmates even talk about this now. I used to interview them in class, like asking, what are some of your favorite things to do? And I had a notebook I'd write in. I just always have had an interest in people's stories, right? And so that kind of inspired me. And so after my last suicide attempt was when I was 20. After that, I was like, you know what? Regardless of what people say, this is what I want to do. I want to write and draw. So even if I have to work a job to support myself, this is what I want to do. And it just so happened in 2003, I was offered an amazing opportunity to start radio. And that allowed me then to be able to do my writing and drawing all full time.
There's a Bible verse that comes to my mind. It says, "Your gift will make room for you and put you before
Yeah.
great men." So
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
was when you tapped into your gifts and decided to trust God with them
Yeah.
that they start taking you to be able to do exactly what you want to do. You wasn't called to work for people in a factory or something. You
Mm-hmm.
was called to write and draw,
Yeah.
but to inspire people also with
Yeah.
learning their stories. You learned this early,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, I'm assuming your parents are older.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom will actually this month will be 78. My dad will be 68 in June.
Congratulations. So what they didn't know how to do because they probably came from Mississippi, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to nurture gifts.
Right.
They didn't know that when you think about art, you have to think about everything that you have ever seen in the world.
Right.
God is an artist, but God allows architecture to be how you make a heart. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a house.
Yeah.
Architecture is some that, or the drawings of a car is how you get a car and the design of it. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
get clothing or something, you still got to deal with art.
Yeah.
Everything that we deal with has a form of art in it first.
Right.
Then what they didn't know is that these things, when you really tap into them, they are what's supposed to sustain you.
Right.
You're called to be fruitful and multiply. That's from the ideas and the thoughts that you either put on paper. These are not just kids, but these become your children because they
Yeah.
supposed to produce fruit. The fruit
Yeah.
being the financial gain from it. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to water and nurture this plant though, because
Right.
it's just a seed in the beginning. But what
Mm-hmm.
happens is like all of those people that you interviewed in their book, they knew that they had to water their plant. It was a
Yeah.
feeling inside them that would not stop burning until they created and followed their path. You
Right.
did that, and
Yeah.
you're doing it well. Look,
Well,
5
thank you.
books. Look at the people you have met, you have spoken to. You're able to live free where everybody else, a lot of people are not living free because you learned to walk in your gift. So congratulations on this, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And if you would like to go through the inspiration of each book.
Yeah.
Bef-
So yeah, so for me, like I said, with Word That Cheese Live By, I'm all about affirmations, and I love the fact that you mentioned the Bible. I mean, I'm a firm believer myself that for one, we have to not only just read the Bible, but make it a part of us too. And that's part of what I wanted to do with this book too, is to show that this is a way of life. You have to, I mean, if you want to see better for yourself, that has to be a way of life. And as I mentioned too, with the other books, for me, the minding your business book, I don't believe in gatekeeping. I believe in sharing, because I want people who look like me to know that, hey, if that little short guy can can do it, I want to know how I can do it too. And I wanted to be able to provide a way to give people those steps. And that's really, Carlos, honestly, that's my biggest motivation in life. I want people to be able to, just like I didn't have anyone. It was when I looked on television and saw LeVar Burton with Reading Rainbow.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, that's somebody that looks like me talking about books
Talking about
on
books.
TV. And then when I got a chance to interview him and tell him how much he inspired where I am today, I mean, that was a full circle moment for me. And I want to be able to be that person for someone else. Maybe their thing isn't writing or drawing, right? But whatever that thing is, to let them know it is possible if they're willing to do the work. I think that's the other side of it too. And like for myself, especially with the Power Your Life with the Positive, when I got that book deal, that was again, it was because of my radio show. People heard me interview these celebrities, and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to have you, do a book series, featuring some of these interviews." And so I reached out to them. They were like, "Yeah, let's do it." So, for me, that's really it. It all's about passion for me. I mean, every project I've done, it's about a passion I have for one, to tell other people's stories, but also to let other people know that whatever they want to do is possible too.
God has already instilled in us everything that you came here is just like the seed.
Yeah.
All the potential is there, but
Hmm.
unless it's germinated, it can't even start growing.
Yeah.
Those are the words that you get to speak. Remember, I always bring up the Bible in all my
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
It says there's life and death in the power of the tongue.
Yeah. And the tongue.
That's
Yeah.
that's what your affirmation books
Yeah.
basically deal with. Because if you
Exactly.
don't know how to speak positive to yourself,
Hmm.
it doesn't work. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, you can maybe gain some momentum from somebody else, but at the end of the day, it's you.
Right.
And if you can learn how to speak, I was just listening to I forgot the motivational speaker that I was listening to, but
Hmm.
that's what he spoke about this morning. And
Okay.
then here you go, and this is what your book is about, and this is what I believe in wholeheartedly is that words of affirmation or
Hmm.
you learning to speak to your inner self, it changes your life.
It
It
does.
changes your perspective of life. And it starts with that little seed that comes out your mouth saying, I'm great, or I can do this, I am that. And what
Right.
happens from that is that God takes and spark it and allows it to basically be seen.
Right.
It may take time though.
Right. Exactly.
So
And I think too, Carlos, to go along with what you were saying, I think that just you saying that and me using my platform to say that, that's all people need. People just need to know there's hope.
come
There's
on.
so many people out there. That's why I even today I'll take out time every month to make sure I'm visiting schools and trying to pour into kids, because I want them to know, who knows what their home life is like, but at least to let them know somebody sees them, know that they're validated, and that what they want to do is possible. I think a lot of times, it's like for myself, I was told, well, there's no, and that's just what people believe because they didn't know any better. Well, you
Didn't know
can't,
nobody.
yeah, you're not going to be able to make any money doing that until you're dead. And I'm like, well, then, some people would say, well, then what's the point if I can't, benefit? But I knew different. You know what I'm saying? I knew different, and I think that's all people need sometimes, to let them know that, what, just because someone in your family hasn't done something
Don't
doesn't mean
mean
you haven't done it. Like, no one in my family ever wrote a book. No one in my family drew or, did anything like that. But this is the gifts that I've been given, and I wanted to pursue it, and that's what I've been able to do.
and thank you for doing it and doing it well.
Thank you.
Uh to your point, uh I'm an artist and an author as well.
Hmm.
And growing up, I'd never seen nobody. My mom always said I was to be an architect. So she did believe in my artistic ability.
Got
She
it.
didn't know the artistic ability or how to nurture it. And she
Right.
was right eventually because technically I'm an architect. I've created something and I am
Hmm.
the creator or the architect.
Yes.
So she
Right.
was right. It's just that I couldn't see. I just knew I was an artist, but later on, I did not believe that it made money.
Mm-hmm.
So I started selling drugs. I share the story with you after we get off. But later, I ended up coming back to art, which later brought me into being an author. Which now I'm doing this. I'm interviewing people who have gifts. And to your another, I'm a work on taking a part of out of your book. I'm gonna see if I can go to a school at least once a month
Mm-hmm.
because I already go into schools and speak to them.
Okay.
But the thing about it, doing it even more intentional, at least trying to get one a month, is even bigger.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because you're showing them what nobody else showed us. Or to your the reason why I truly believe you wrote that book is because you didn't have nobody speaking that life into you. They did, but they didn't know how.
They didn't know how.
So
Right.
you're speaking to the youth the way you wish somebody had spoke to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's that hope you were speaking about.
Hmm. And it's so important. And like I said, my parents, and we talk about this even now as I share these stories with other people. I said, they did what they knew how to do.
Yes.
For them, a man gets up, gets
It
dressed,
works.
and go work for somebody else. That's
Look, I mean,
that's. So the idea of you not working for anyone else, they didn't understand it, but they never. One thing about them, they never told me I couldn't do it.
mm,
They didn't understand it, but they never said that's not going to work. And
mm,
now they're able to see the benefits of that. You know, I'm able to travel the country and meet all kinds of people and bring those blessings back to the family. And so, and I say, this is really because of you. You didn't
yes,
know it, but this is because you gave me that freedom and that example of working hard and being dedicated to something. That's how I've been able to get where I am today.
man. Shout out to your parents for
Yeah.
being who they are.
Yeah.
And before we go, there's a few things I'm gonna ask you to do.
Yeah.
One, I want a word of wisdom, and then two, let them know where they can purchase your books because the biggest part of this is for y'all to go buy this man's books. Somebody can gain something from learning. I look at books as cheat codes. When you find the right cheat code to a video game, it helps you skip levels.
Right.
And when you find the right cheat code, whether it's the book of affirmations, whether it's your business book, what
Mm.
happens is they will skip levels that you have already been through that they don't have to go through. These are the
Yes.
cheat codes. And what happens when people like yourself put that stuff in books, it helps everybody else be able to move faster and forward together as a whole. So,
Right.
once again, thank you for
Yeah.
just being who you are, man.
Thank you. I appreciate, and again, I appreciate the platform and the great work you're doing, and looking forward to having you on our show as well. The one piece of wisdom I would give them is this, and this is something one of my friends told me back in 2014, and it was so powerful. I have never forgotten it. And that is, let's not focus on what happened yesterday.
Mm.
Let's focus on what can get done today. And I say that to everybody because a lot of times we feel like, well, I've wasted this, or I'm too old, or I can't do. Well, you know what? Let's leave that behind us. Today, let's just focus on what you can do today. Because if you can focus on that, every day can be one step toward the goal and dream that you have for yourself. But you won't know until you start. So that's really the main thing. And they can all find me. I've made it very easy. My website is cyruswebb.com, just my name. If they go there, that's my link tree, and it has my books there, the magazine, my radio show, my on camera show I do for Amazon. All of that is right there at cyruswebb.com.
And I actually say the same thing, but I said different.
Mm-hmm.
Your past creates your present. Your
Yes.
present creates your future. Wherever
Mm-hmm.
you at today, don't even look. You can't focus on, like you said, the past. It
Yeah.
got you here.
Yeah.
It's the change of the thought in the moment that's going to change your future. If you want to be where you're at tomorrow, I mean, where you're at today, do the same thing you're doing today. You'll be there tomorrow. But if you change one thing, you'll find everything changes for your future.
Yeah.
So,
Such a great thing.
look, I appreciate you for joining me.
Thank you.
Let me know when. I promise you, I'll be there to be on your show as well. And
Awesome.
look, let's continue to grow.
You got it. Looking forward to staying connected, Carlos. Thanks again for the time.
Always. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle, Black Authors Matter, and this is Mr. Cyrus Webb. Peace and blessings.